Hey, this is Chantel Girardi from Online Business Marketing, and today we're going to be talking about AI versus HI. So, what is HI? Well, my ChatGPT Andy, he knows exactly what HI is because he's been customized. HI stands for human intelligence. So, AI, artificial intelligence versus human intelligence. And how do you use ChatGPT to plan and create smarter marketing in 2026? Without losing your voice, without sounding like ChatGPT, and without it actually spitting out cookie cutter fluffy content that doesn't cut through, right? Um, at the end of the day, we want to be able to plan faster, draft smarter, and repurpose your content. But we also want to make sure that we're tightening up that message so it really does cut through. And having a strategy and using that strategy is absolutely fundamental. At the end of the day, we want your content to be truthful, we want your tone to be relevant, and we want to make sure that at the end of the day, you're going through it and having a look at it to make sure that it is telling the truth, because sometimes it lies. And I can share a story with you. One of my very, very good friends is the Facebook ads queen, and her and I had a wine the other day. We sat down and we said, "Oh my gosh, did you think that ChatGPT had a really off day on Monday?" And she said, "Oh my gosh, yes, it did. It spat out the biggest note, like rubbish that we've ever had." And she is on the enterprise plan. So she's paying hundreds of dollars per month for her plan. I'm only on the pro plan. And she said that it is completely, was that day, Monday, it spat out absolute nonsense. And I said to her, "Why do you think that is?" So, of course, we had a big conspiracy theory meeting about it. And with a couple of wines under our belt as well, we came to the conclusion that ChatGPT is learning all the time, which we all agree. But guess what it's also doing? Stupid people are now using it. And now what we believe is that it's starting to learn to be stupid and it's learning to be lazy because it hasn't got just intelligent people answering it. So I don't know if that's the truth, but that's what we came up with. I don't know if it was the wine talking, but we all agree that it is learning from stupid people because it doesn't know what's right or what's clever or what's wrong anymore if it's got stupid people prompting it, right? So we're going to be talking a little bit about that today to make sure that what we are putting into it is good. In fact, I believe we should be using ChatGPT less. We need to go back to using our human intelligence more and really take our time to strategically use it and use it less and well so that we get the best juice out of it. That's just what I think. So, ChatGPT can be your marketing co-pilot and can accelerate your planning and production. However, it can also overwhelm the crap out of you. Who here has gone down a ChatGPT rabbit hole where you've gone down and next minute you're like lost for an hour? And yes, you've asked it to come up with $1 million idea on how you can be rich, famous, and good looking. And now all of a sudden you're like, where do I start? And oh my gosh, do I even have the capacity to like fulfill this strategy? And all of a sudden, like you're completely overwhelmed by it. So this is the other thing, right? We've got to make sure that we're not just using it to punch out, like give us so much data, but we're actually using it and then we're implementing what we're actually getting it to create for us. So in order for us to make it work, our marketing we have to have clarity in our marketing. We've got to still use connection, which ChatGPT is not going to get 100%. Credibility, and therefore it then can convert. And that's what we know about marketing. So ChatGPT can help you generate your drafts. It can help with variations. It can show you various outlines. It can also show you various angles or perspectives. It can help you to repurpose content across your channels. It can build campaign plans and content calendars. It can summarize your insights and turn them into actions. That's actually a great one. You can actually take your insights. It's really easy. Take a screenshot, put it into ChatGPT, say, "These are my insights for Facebook or Instagram. Can you give me some suggestions?" And it can give you some really good ideas and help you expand on your reporting, which is awesome. It can also create your SOPs and your checklists that you can use for your virtual assistants as well. But ChatGPT should not replace your positioning and your point of difference. So if you have not trained it in your positioning and point of difference, it's going to use a cookie cutter fluffy method, which is not going to help you cut through. It cannot replace your lived experience and your real examples. It cannot replace your customers' truths. So if you're not feeding in your customers' testimonials and truths, it's not going to understand their perspective. And therefore, its judgment on your business and your client avatar is going to be a bit warped. It also needs you to imprint your brand's tone, your voice, even your boundaries, and what is okay to be included and what's not okay to be included. And of course, it needs better understanding around your relationships with your type of client, and also how you build trust. You have to teach it how you actually build trust. What are the trust factors in your business? The objections and your objections and your trust and your credibility is going to be completely different, say, from a kinesiologist to a architect. It's going to be completely different. So you have to make sure that you are training ChatGPT in it. So today, obviously, my content is always around purpose-led business owners who are managing their own marketing and who are helping them to lead their marketing. It's always about the marketing VAs and the marketing doers who need clear prompts, structure, and examples in order to get a good output. It is for service-based businesses as well as e-commerce-based businesses, and there are different ways that you use it, and I'll give you some examples. So how ChatGPT fits into your workflow is it's first a great planning room. So go from planning to then drafting to then repurposing to then optimizing. But people go in and they try and prompt it and try and get everything out of it all in one room. And then they wonder why it's a mush and a mess. So what you put in is what you get out. If you had an in-house marketing person that was working next to you and you were giving them an instruction, you wouldn't say to them, hey, can you go and, well, hopefully you wouldn't, can you go and create a social media content plan for 2026? As the business owner, the marketing the leader inside your business or the marketing manager, you would go in and you'd say, this is our audience. This is the outcome we're wanting to achieve. This is our focus for 2026. So when we're prompting ChatGPT, we need to do the same when we're talking to our VAs, and we need to do the same when we're talking to ChatGPT because it is like your VA, right? So here's some of the things that you need to be specific about. And this is really important. Who it's for, and we need to include the demographic. Be really specific. What is the overall goal or the outcome? And I teach with virtual assistants as well. We can't just say, go and do our marketing. You have to say, do this lead magnet because we're wanting to connect with more of this type of audience so that we can get them to download this resource, to then have a conversation with us, to then go and buy this fence. We have to be very specific about the outcome we want. And with ChatGPT, we have to give it its goal and outcome. The third one is we have to be clear on whether or not we're actually nurturing them right now or whether or not we're actually trying to sell it to them right now, because that's not the same. If ChatGPT is going to be nurturing, it's a completely different process to if it is going to be going out and selling to that person right then and there. Then you need to also be specific about what must be included in that content. So what are your content pillars? What must be avoided? So there may be things that you don't want it to use. What the brand voice sounds like. And what does do marketing look like? Go and do marketing. What is that? Is that a story? Is that a reel? Is that a social media post? Is that a blog? What is the frequency? So we have to be specific. And it's like talking to the universe. I'm going to use a woo-woo term here. If we say to the universe, I want money, please. The universe doesn't know what money is. But if you say, look, I want $5 million so that I can do this because I want that, and you be very specific about it, the universe can deliver it. It's the same as if you said, I want a dress. You'd have to say, what type of dress? A long one, a short one, a fitted dress, a loose dress, a modern one, an old-fashioned one, a sexy one, a daggy one, a boho one. You'd have to be specific in order to get that order. We have to do the same with ChatGPT. Vague prompts gives you vague outputs. So when my virtual assistants are getting bad, like really bad stuff coming out of ChatGPT, first we look at the prompts and we go, are these prompts good? Like, where did we go wrong with the prompts? And I ask that question, and the virtual assistants will reread it and they'll go, ah, I see over there I was too vague. I wasn't specific enough. I could see how ChatGPT would have thought that. It's like communicating with your partner and running out the door and go, don't forget to get the groceries for dinner tonight. And your partner's going, what are we having for dinner tonight? I don't even know. What do we have? What don't we have? What are we going to buy? It's the same thing. Cool. All right. So how to prompt so your VA gets consistent results. Okay. So whether or not it's you or your VA marketing doer on ChatGPT, here is the structure for you, right? And you need to use the structure every single time. And I actually learned this at a ChatGPT workshop that I went to by one of my clients who runs ChatGPT workshops here on the Gold Coast. So number one is you need to say who ChatGPT needs to act as. So what is their role? So you are a marketing strategist. You are a copywriter. And you can't give it two roles. You can't say you're an accountant and you're a pole dancer. Like, they're two conflicting things. You need to be specific about what it is. So choose, what does it need to take? What persona does it need to take on? Number two is the goal. What is the outcome you're wanting to achieve? Number three, the audience. Who is this for? Number four is the context. What is the offer? What proof do you have? What objections might you get? What is the voice or the tone that you want it to have? Number five are additional inputs. So you could put notes in there. You could put a review from some of your clients. You could put some links, a draft copy. So often people forget that they can actually add files and media so that I can actually read it. I often take my notes. Like, if I'm at a presentation, I'll take screenshots of the presentation and then I'll take my notes as well, put that together, and then ask ChatGPT to summarize it for me without losing the information. Number six is the output format. So what is it for? Is it for email? Is it for a carousel post? Is it for a Facebook post, an Instagram post? What is it actually for? Number seven then is constraints. So is there a word count? Do you have some style rules like no M dashes or only my brand emojis? Or is there some compliance stuff that you have to worry about? So with Nomer, with their business, they've got some compliance things. There's certain things that they can and can't say. And you might even want to say things like no fluff, practical, personable, relevant. And the last but not least is number 8 is a quality check. No ChatGPT content goes out with being checked and double checked to make sure it's relevant. So a prompt that you could use is act as a and input the role. This is the goal for this audience. Here's some context. Here's some additional inputs and media. This is the output or the format that I'm wanting. Here's some of the constraints or the rules. And then after you've done that, obviously do the quality check and have a look for the missing information or for relevancy. Cool. So how to make ChatGPT sound more like you and not like the internet. So most AI sounding content is not an AI problem. It's an instruction problem. So it has not been instructed properly. So you might have a style rule. I had this with a client last week. They said, oh my gosh, my virtual assistant is putting out content and it just doesn't sound like us. It doesn't do anything. And I'm like, well, where's your style rule template? Like, where's your branding? You can call it whatever you like. I don't like, they've called it a style rule here for ChatGPT. I don't like that. But basically you want a standard. You want your standard, your marketing standard for your business of how your content looks. I often use dots. I often use capital letters at the beginning of big words. I often use I'll use capital letters for entire words. I always make sure things are skimmable. I've got my own sort of tone or way that I actually write. And that is in there because if it's not, guess what? I can't get my VAs or ChatGPT to sound like me. And that's the goal, right? So some style rules might be Australian spelling. no M dashes, no hype, no fluff, no corporate jargon, short paragraphs, strong headings, skimmable bullets. Make it relatable, make it practical, make it relevant, make it personable. Use only your brand emojis. So every business I recommend has at least five emojis that they use, and always end with a clear call to action, which may be a next step. Okay. Of course, we've also got our 4-point structure. So hook, connection, credibility, call to action. And for me, often if I'm doing posts, if I'm asking for posts for social media, I actually ask for long form posts because I actually find ChatGPT can be quite lazy. And when it is lazy, the posts come out and it's one sentence and it doesn't connect. So I actually ask for long form because it's easy for me to actually take stuff out. So a voice prompt that you could use is rewrite this in my voice, remove anything generic, no M dashes, keep it practical and clear, add one grounded example, keep paragraphs short, use brand emojis only. So let's have a look at the 6 marketing areas now and how you can use ChatGPT for each of them. So first, it is for the website, and the most important thing for the website is messaging and conversion. So you could use it for your homepage and service page rewrites, frequently asked questions, objection handling, call to actions, proof placement, micro copy. So for example, for a service-based business prompt, you could go act as a conversion service. The audience are these people. The goal is to get booked calls. The tone is, and you give 3 adjectives, include the pain points, frequently asked questions, and 3 call to actions. Here's my messy copy. Make it better, right? So for our live audience and our members, obviously they'll get all of this that will be delivered tomorrow. You guys will also get a SOP, which will be dropped into the membership site on and the Facebook group on Thursday. So for an e-commerce prompt, you might go, write a high converting product description for this product, include the benefits, use case stories, handle objections, include shipping or return reassurances, and SEO keywords. Include benefit bullets and 8 frequently asked questions. Right. So number 2 is for Google, and Google's responsible for your SEO and your visibility. Use it for SEO blog outlines, meta titles and meta descriptions, including your slugs, internal linking suggestions, your Google My Business profile posts and review replies. A prompt may be create an SEO blog outline for this keyword. So therefore, you've got to have done some keyword research. The audience are these people. We want to include a header 2 and header 3, some frequently asked questions, handle objections, use examples, and include a call to action to go to the next step, and you can prompt it in the next step. Add a meta title and meta description. So for those of you who are going to be doing that 6-week Get Sales on Your Sites, that is going to be included in one of the modules for Get Sales on Your Sites. So number 3 is social media, and this is all about the know, like, and trust and connecting with your audience. You can use it for a weekly content plan, hooks, reels, carousel outlines, stories, or repurposing one piece of content into multiple formats. You could take, for example, one client win and repurpose it into a story sequence, a lesson post, a frequently asked question post, a myth-busting reel script, and a case study carousel. Number 4 is email marketing, and email marketing is all about nurturing your leads into sales. You could use it for welcome sequences, weekly newsletters, launch sequences, subject line, and preview text variations. And I must be honest, I don't like ChatGPT's subject lines. Even with all the prompting I do, I don't like it. It always seems to be too long, not cut through enough for me. I prefer it is what it is. when I do the subject lines. So I often make a baby. I might ask for 5 subject lines and 5 pre-headers, and I usually use the subject line and pre-headers, and I make a baby, and I do it myself. But again, I'm using my human intelligence with ChatGPT. I'm not just being lazy. So a prompt might be, write a 5 email nurture sequence for this lead magnet of this audience. I'd like the tone to be in this, include story, practical tips, objections, and call to actions, and make it skimmable. Now, if you don't add the case study in, or the story or the testimonial, ChatGPT is going to make it up. And I don't know how you feel about that, but it would be better for you to actually include a client's testimonial or case study or story so that ChatGPT can model it around that. So number 5 is partnerships. So you can use it to map out partner list criteria and prioritization, to draft some outreach DMs or emails, to join webinar or podcast pitches, to create follow-up sequences or tracking notes. So a prompt could be, create 10 partnership ideas for this business type. Our goal is to grow this audience and leads without paying for ads. Include who to partner with, the angle, the outreach message, and what each party promises. And number 6 is lead generation, which is all about the customer journey and getting conversions. So you want to say, use it for lead magnets and concepts and outlines, quiz logic and outcome messaging, webinar run sheets and follow-ups, DM scripts and qualification questions. A prompt that you could use is, design a lead magnet that attracts this ideal person and leads to offer this. Include the topic, the promise, the outline, the call to action, the landing page, the copy, and the 3 email delivery sequence. Here's the thing. If you don't understand marketing, and if you don't understand your strategy, your customer journey, what your offer is, who your ideal client is, what the actual process is that you're taking them through, how difficult is it going to be for you to prompt ChatGPT? Because if you don't know it, how are you going to say, add connection, add credibility, add a case study? If you don't understand marketing and the essentials of that, how are you going to know to prompt that? All right, so here's some of the common mistakes that waste time and how you can fix them. So number 1 is vague prompts. So if you want to fix ChatGPT, if it's doing vague prompts, include your audience, your goal, your offer, your proof, your tone, your format, and your constraints. If you want to improve no inputs, you can paste real-life materials or files in there. So for example, you could add emails, reviews, product details, frequently asked questions. You can actually add resources in there. Even your lead magnet. So if you've made a lead magnet, you could take that PDF, put it in there, and then ask it to create the email nurture sequence off that. Letting AI lead your positioning. So firstly, you want to decide on the angle and the promise so that AI is just doing the executing. It's not doing the trying to lead you down a rabbit hole that you don't want to go down. Publishing without the HI edit, so human intelligence edit. It's important that you always do the check at the end and remove anything that's robotic or vague. Using it like Google. So you can use it to plan and to draft, but you have to check the facts, claims, and the links. Now that's absolutely important because it may have it wrong. Now, fun fact, and my phone's going to go ballistic when I say this, but inside my car, which is an Apple radio, I said, hey Siri, please can you, how do you cook boiled eggs in an air fryer? And it's going to start talking now. And it came up with how to do it, and it told me, and then it asked me, would I like the answer from my ChatGPT? And it redirected me to my ChatGPT, and ChatGPT answered it. And then Siri came back with a disclaimer and said, please always check the information before using it for anything. And I was like, whoa. So Siri is now talking to Google, which is, I don't know how long that's been going on for, but that blew my mind away in my car. So I can now basically ask ChatGPT for things by using Siri in my car, which is like mind blowing. And not having a prompt library. some of the biggest common mistakes are you have to have a prompt library. So for me, for my masterclasses that I do, I've got a prompt library. I've got a prompt that I use every single Monday that will help me get this. Every time we do lead magnets, we have a prompt for that. Now, for our live audience and for our members, guess what? It's in your frameworks folder. You guys all have access to it. We have a ChatGPT prompts folder that we've made, and you've got access to our prompts. And every time we get new ones, we put them in there. So make your own one and then keep adding your own prompts, because obviously our prompts are for us. Some of those are going to be valuable, but some of them are not going to be. So make sure that you've got a prompt folder. And then make sure that you've got a system for everything that you do. Like, what is your ChatGPT process, your system, SOP, process system, whatever you're going to be doing, what is that? Cool. So for our live audience, we've created a weekly workflow for a marketing virtual assistant, which is for 4 hours per day. When I work one-on-one with you, we come up with what that framework's going to look like. But ChatGPT's created it based on my Ask Chantel AI GPT AI tool, which our live audience and members get access to as well. But you guys are going to get access to all of that as well. So I'm not going to share that with you now, but basically it breaks it up on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. How do you use ChatGPT to get your marketing done? And what is the time breaks that you do for that? And that is based on a 20-hour-a-week virtual assistant. So let's have a look at some ChatGPT alternatives. I'll be honest with you, a couple of my friends in business are looking at alternatives. I haven't jumped ship yet. I don't know if I will. However, there are many right now that are, the South African word is gutful, which is gutsful, gutful, and saying that ChatGPT is having so many blitzes because so many people are using it. And apparently word on the street is that it's not making that much money anymore, because to upkeep it is so much based on how much we're actually paying. And there's so many free people using it as well that it's running out of money. So they think that that's why it's a bit of an issue. So a lot of them are jumping ship. So other ones are Claude, Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, and Perplexity. Those are just some other alternatives that you can use for ChatGPT. So what most people don't know about ChatGPT that can help your marketing: projects help keep context together. Okay, projects keep context together. So it helps you organize your chats, your files, and your context with shared objectives. So it's ideal for long running workflows. Okay. You cannot use custom GPTs inside projects. So that's a fun fact, but that's obviously today on the 15th of December, 2025. Number 2 is customization makes your ChatGPT sound like you. So if you haven't already, you can set up your custom instructions inside ChatGPT that will follow your tone, your formatting preferences, and will set up your defaults. Number 3 is creating custom GPTs, which will help you with repeatable tasks in your business. So if you've got a task that you do all the time, instead of creating it as a project, create it as a custom GPT. So we have created a mild training on this. It's just an entry-level training, so I might do a more advanced one next year. But if you go to onlinebusinessmarketing.com.au and you go to free resources blog and then go to GPTs, you'll find that training there. So we will look at doing another one in the new year, which is more advanced. But GPTs, if you've got repeatable tasks, create GPTs, not projects. Number 4 is uploading files or media for better outputs. So many people do not know that they can do it. I have a friend going through legal contracts the other day, and it was about 15 pages of legal contracts. And I said, all you've got to do is upload that contract into there and then say, I have to sign this contract. What are the things I need to know about this? Like, what are the important things that I need to know and understand about this? What are the things that I need to be careful of on this? And this is why I'm signing this. So again, the outcome. And they absolutely couldn't believe it. So I do this with all my forms now. Any form I sign, I put it in and go, what should I be watching out for? I put my T's and C's into ChatGPT and ask it to go through it and rewrite it or give me feedback on it. So putting images and files in, super helpful. Use voice mode to think out loud. So I will often talk into ChatGPT. to get a response. If the Wi-Fi is on the blitz though and it loses it, unfortunately, sometimes then you've lost what you've just said. So that can be a bit infuriating. That has happened a few times to me, which drives me nuts. But when it does happen, when it does actually help you, it's awesome. Canvas is ideal for editing blogs and landing pages. So Canvas is built for writing and coding projects that need revisions and edits, and it's perfect for polishing long form assets. So I haven't gone into depth in Canvas yet. I'll have to go in and do more research and perhaps provide new content on it in the new year. And the last one is record mode can turn your voice notes into marketing assets. So record mode can transcribe and summarize recordings, which is handy for turning brainstorms into content. But availability depends on your plan and your platform. So you may not have access to record mode. The other thing is, I recommend doing it in short snippets, because say I do a 10-minute recording and at 9 minutes 55 seconds the Wi-Fi cuts out, you've just lost 10 minutes. So it's the same as when I send voice messages to someone. I tend to do them in 1-minute spiels so that they can also watch it in 1-minute spiels. And if I do lose it, it's okay. So the plans or the versions of ChatGPT as of 15th of December 2025 are, you've got your free one. You've got your plus one, which gives you more access and expanded capabilities. So for things like projects, tasks, and custom GPTs. That's the plus. Then you've got the pro, which is higher limits and maximum access for heavy daily workflows, including expanded projects and custom GPTs. And then you've got business or enterprise, which is team-orientated plans with admin and collaboration features. The simple rule is use the company's ChatGPT and projects to keep the content optimal. If you've got ChatGPTs if you've got virtual assistants using their own ChatGPTs, that's when the messaging and everything goes haywire. And also then the business owners cannot see what their VAs are searching for. So if a VA is managing a Coca-Cola business and then is managing a coaching business, and they're using the same ChatGPT, it gets convoluted. So you want to make sure you're using the company's ChatGPT, and you can have a look at their prompts, check out their prompts as well, so that you can also get involved and change the prompts if there's any issues. So some of the common concerns, it won't sound like me. Well, it does. So if you've got your rules, your rules for how you use ChatGPT, yes, it will. If you've got past examples to give it, yes, it will. And if you use your human intelligence and check it at the end and retrain it, yes, it will. We don't have time to learn this is a common objection. Start by having 10 gold prompts that you use all the time in your business. AI content is saturated. Only when AI leads. AI should be drafting, you should be leading. That's so important. You should be leading it with strategy, with human intelligence. It should be doing the drafting. What about privacy? So you should never be posting, like copy pasting private information and putting it into ChatGPT. You should keep that anonymous and not putting it in. So can ChatGPT replace my marketing VA? No, it can't. It upgrades your virtual assistant if they're using strategy at the end of the day, strategy and good prompts, and you're using human intelligence to check it before it goes out. You still need to use your marketing VA. You still need to have somebody managing that marketing strategically. You still need a strategy. You still need an implementer. All right. So that's it for that today. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks so much. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe. You can also check out our website, onlinebusinessmarketing.com.au. If you've got any comments, leave them below. And if you'd like to be part of the live audience, the members who get access to a private Facebook group, online courses, as well as a weekly SOP or checklist or template, you can check out the comments below for the link.